Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and today we're looking at Treasure of Barracuda. This is a free app on Steam, free game on Steam, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I would recommend just playing it now, pausing and then coming back to the video. So this is a very unique game in the sense that it is made by a Lego maker that literally, and we can just see the same info here, uh, made a real world Lego puzzle box. And then they've now converted it to a digital form. And in all fairness, I think they've kind of even added a little bit to the digital form. And so they made the Lego puzzle box. Their creation they put on their YouTube channel, and I believe they gave it to some famous puzzlers, YouTubers out there. And now they're trying to let more people have it. There's this problem that I imagine most people aren't aware of, in that when you have the custom puzzles, they tend to be so custom and so rare that they get marked up in price for the uh, insane levels of cost of like $10,000, $20,000. I mean, you can really just put any price you want on it. There's only one of it. They're effectively priceless. And that makes them outside the reach of most people who would want to solve those puzzles. It's not until a puzzle really gets simplified, or a puzzle box gets simplified and dumbed down, that it starts to go into semi-mass production. And even in that, it's usually only a couple thousand of a puzzle box of any individual puzzle is ever made, not in the hundreds of thousands or millions for sure. So there is a real accessibility issue that is being addressed by releasing this as a digital form, which I'd like to see other puzzle box creators embrace, particularly if you're going to put it out for free. But then there's also this weirdness in that Steam is effectively being used here as a commercial, because Lego has this system called Lego Ideas, where if they get 10,000 supporters, Lego will then evaluate the Lego puzzle box design. And then usually, if they accept the design and say, we will make something out of this Lego Ideas set, they will change it fairly significantly from the original design to be more in line with whatever Lego wants to do. And then they will sell it in a fairly limited run as part of the Lego Ideas series. But there definitely have been some very interesting sets under the Lego Ideas series made by actual fans. But this is weird, because in any other scenario, if somebody had put a commercial on Steam and put it out for free, I would immediately have dismissed it and hated the idea. It's only for my fandom of Lego that I'm willing to overlook this. Plus, on top of that, they set it for free, so that gets some good grace, and it does address an accessibility issue. Of course, the accessibility issue doesn't really exist if it does get 10,000 supporters on Lego Ideas and get made into a set, because then the Lego puzzle box as an actual set would be fairly reachable and fairly accessible. On top of that, it's not like the instructions don't exist already. So if you just have a lot of the right Lego pieces, you could build the puzzle box today from scratch, just following instructions. And that is how most of the my own creations, the MOC Lego sets go, is that either somebody is being slightly greedy and selling instructions, or they're being fairly generous in putting out instructions on how to build something with Lego pieces. And you can easily go to Bricklinks or any site like Bricklinks to buy pieces if you don't have the specific pieces. So this is kind of a weird in the middle ground, like in the meantime product. If this ad cost any money, I would have never highlighted it. It also is interesting that you could have the Lego Ideas trademark logo here, and apparently that's acceptable to use it, or it hasn't been taken down. The music that's playing in the background of this, one of the songs was definitely Moonlight Sonata, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to play some open source songs that still might get content ID'd in the long run. You'd be surprised how many public domain performances, not just the compositional music and sheet music is public domain, but the actual performances themselves are public domain, and still YouTube's copyright system will let people claim they own it. As far as controls, it's mouse only. It would have possibly been nice to have a controller set up, but looking at this, it kind of seems like you have fairly changing cursors also. You have like a push, a pickup, a grab, and drag, all seemingly on the left, and a zoom in, all seemingly on the left mouse clicker, and then click the mouse wheel to zoom out. Well, you would kind of think zooming in and zooming out would be just scrolling a mouse wheel up and down. I guess they're assuming just a middle mouse button, not a mouse wheel, which I think you can pretty well assume nowadays people have a mouse wheel. And then rotate view is on the right. And moving the mouse itself seems to not even be explained. Seems like you could have easily put grab and drag on the right click instead. Let's see, is this an actual link? Yeah, it is. Okay. So let's see how many supporters it has. It has, as of this recording, 2,339 supporters and 219 days left. They obviously give you a fair amount of time to gain supporters. The problem with the Lego Ideas sets, though, is that a lot of things get a lot of supporters and then they still don't get selected for evaluation. So it's just like they sit in limbo on step 1, or they sit in limbo on step 2. They sit in limbo. Let's see, hard mode, it will apparently be unlocked at 5,000 supporters. Man, they are really going fairly hardcore as far as trying to get people to play. So I guess we have to play on medium mode, which I can only assume that means that there are different puzzles happening here based on the difficulty level. So let's see if we can rotate the image from this main area. You have this big controller thing just gonna be there the whole time, I bet. Now the thing about Lego games is they have pretty much been solely the domain until recently of the Warner Brothers subsidiary TT Games. Traveler Tales Games is what it used to be called, to make Lego games like Lego Star Wars, which are mostly just you play as a minifig character, you run around and smash a bunch of things, it gives you Lego studs as a currency, but you really aren't building or interacting with Legos. It's actually fairly shocking how much of the TT Lego games is not really Lego. So it's nice to see this try to do something different. Maybe for the target audience of kids, being wild and crazy and running around and smashing things is more interesting than actually just playing with Lego in a virtual environment. Lego is a fairly tactical product, and it would make a lot of sense if you told me that Lego really just has very little chance of ever being fun in a virtual reality. Not until we get some kind of like VR gloves that we can actually feel the individual Lego pieces and put the individual Lego pieces together. But I think Lego has to try. So our first assumption would be, I assume, to try and see this. It seems like you can move it fairly large segments. We can see under here actual studs and actual rendering of Lego pieces, which in all fairness the TT games tend not to do. Of course, you've got a problem here. Immediately I found something just because I moved the mouse over it. This did look fairly like it should have been something, but anyway, it's like, it's not what I really would want to have happen. Like, I really would have preferred to have started with just the beginning. Now, there is also a problem, I would say, with the fact that things are made out of Lego. It's not incredibly difficult to just start at the bottom of anything and just start tearing layer after layer apart. Like, unless you're what they jokingly refer to craggling it, in the same way as the movie, Lego Movie. Yeah, and you're getting sound effects here that you definitely would not hear. Let's see. This is probably some key. Yeah. It's like a compass. But the compass seems like it can be only slightly manipulated. Yeah, you would pretty much have to glue this down to be fairly certain people wouldn't just cheat. And I suppose you cheat yourself and you just ruin the fun of it, but that's about it. And when I saw somebody solve this puzzle, this whole element, this whole map was not there. So I saw someone basically solve a early version of this, and see, I don't understand why I should be able to click on the house and nothing else. And that seems like that is a part that might come out later. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just because of the dark water. There is another Lego game that Lego commissioned from a real, as just like Lego, the company wanted there to exist. This game that looks not too different from this. And it's more of a walk down the path concept. There also have been some cell phone games that Lego's tried to make that were maybe a little too microtransaction-y for a kid game. I mean, this is an interesting map and all. Although I have to say, when you are given a bunch of 1x1 pieces like this, which means they are one stud wide, or one flat plate wide, one brick wide. When you're building something like that in Lego, it can be incredibly frustrating. There was a whole Minecraft series of sets, and they still may make a couple of them, but there was particularly one that was really at this micro scales, what this would be, I would refer this to as. I have a hard time believing there really is a puzzle here. Like, at all. Like, you would have to have something hidden inside the mountain here. Otherwise, this may just be an extra map that doesn't mean anything. Right. So, if we were to take this and try and push that, it doesn't do anything. If we were to push that, that popped out. These handles aren't doing anything. I'd have to assume that this is supposed to be here, but you probably have to be zoomed in on it. And maybe it's just not time. Yeah. And like most puzzles, it seems like it is fairly easy to just poke around. There's not even a zoom in on the top. Well, we hit that. And then we hit that. And that gave us that. We have a blue, gray, green, yellow flower. And seemingly there's nothing more we can really do. Feels like right-clicking there would have escaped that. See, the good news here, of course, is that I haven't watched someone solve this recently. And I have since seen a significant number of other puzzles being solved. Okay, I think I understand what just happened there. We set the first part forward here in that created room. And so if we're going to follow this logic, we probably don't want to just push things back. Like it probably isn't a back and forth thing. It's probably make room for the next thing. Yeah. So with everything that slides forward, you then spin the box around looking for the next loose piece. Here we've got another thing sticking forward. I think if I could be critical of someone who probably can build around me as far as my own creations, I'm not particularly that good at that. There probably should be some more randomness in the way things are designed and built, but I wouldn't be surprised if you tried to have more randomness, if that then caused stability issues. Because you see a lot of bricks here that look like, oh yeah, this has been built specifically just to give support. And this here clearly is going to be something that slides at some point. So unless there was something that was more on the edges and swung out like this, yeah. But see now, weirdly, if we've got that sliding out, once we see a gimmick, we're going to want to just see that gimmick done multiple times. It kind of feels like pushing this would push the cannon out. But before I do that, let's just make sure none of these gold panels slide in any way, in any direction. And there's a decent chance we're just going to solve this all in one sitting. I keep thinking that there's probably a point when you're going to put these handles, like push them inward. Well, at the risk of resetting progress, I think we have to assume that this just slides out. Although it doesn't feel like it really does. Yeah. And you can definitely see that there's some thematic thoughts here as far as trying to make it pirate themed. I just finished. Alright, so that does not move in. That does not move in. I do see something there now that I don't feel like was there before. I just finished playing Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, and there was a Lego Pirate set that existed before the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean Lego sets. And right, so that one can go back, but that very possibly is simply just the one piece that could go back. I can't help but feel like they kind of canceled and made room for Lego Pirates of the Caribbean sets by you do just pull the whole thing out. Okay. And because of that, they, I think, kind of messed up. Is that really what we're supposed to do? Well, I got an achievement for doing that. And clearly that wouldn't happen in the actual real world, but there's a rubber band or thing in it, that a spring that does shoot little Lego pieces. Although mostly Lego tries to avoid having things flown across the room. Too often Lego products get flung across, Lego pieces get flung across the room anyways. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this out and close that and like, would that really have worked? No. This piece is just floating in the air. So it's just a removed piece. Which honestly it feels like there should be an inventory or a place where that ends up going. What we need to do is define the language of pushing, pulling. What is a push? What is a pull? What is a good push? What is a good pull? Did I really need to put the cannon in backwards for some reason? I may very well have just locked it. I may have locked myself in a weird way out of opening that part. So that may not matter. Alright. Alright, so that goes two different ways. So there's a whole trick there. So I may very well have just moved everything to this point. Can't shoot at things in the background. It's a blurry but acceptable background for a skybox. It's not like we're supposed to spend a lot of time looking at the skybox anyways. I could easily be paying too much attention to the box and not enough attention to the map. And see if there's something crazy where you have to like take this and swing out a piece. That would be very difficult to realize. And at this current level, yep, there we go. I really would have to question. We found the treasure map. Like 7 south, 6 east, 4 south, 5 east, 10 north, 5 east, 6 south. Okay. Think we can figure that out. We now have a treasure map. And we can see there's a little Lego minifig skeleton here. Can we pull this one? No, but I suspect it probably does mean alright. So we gotta establish south as Well, oddly, south would be the yellow-green combined. Something in between yellow and green. Is there a place where we could put a compass? Like over here, could stick it in that stud. But clearly not. I imagine you might just be able to click on things and accidentally reach it. Alright, well. This compass 7 south from the lighthouse. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4. You can't drag here. And you're too zoomed out here, really. 5, 6, 7. And then... And I'm just doing this diagonally. 6 east. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Will be here. You're not putting little markers on the field. 4 south. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. 2, 3, 4. I think was here. And then 5 east. Be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 east here. Assuming I'm doing this right. And then 10 north. See, I just don't think that works. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see, you just run into the real problem. So, I'm thinking the compass is wrong. And that there possibly is some way in which this would be adjusted or changed or rotated, because like is this any longer or any different when you swing it this way versus swinging it that way? No, I don't think so. And the idea that there'd be any kind of secret mechanism here seems fairly low. Yeah. If the colors were just slightly rotated and it told me blue was north, that would be useful. Alright. So let's do this more standard ways. 7 south. 1, 2, 3, can't be 7. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't be 7. These colors on here are not like borders around the edge of this map either. No, that's all ocean. See, there is a danger slightly more in digital form than in non-digital form that you could just click everywhere. So, because it starts with such a large number of 7 south at the lighthouse, and ooh, it does give you a nice, better rendering of that. In case you can't read it. South either has to be this way, or it has to be upward. And when you have this 10 north, which is your limitation, you're going to go in one direction 12 south and 10 north. And you never go west. So you're going 11, 16 east. Okay. So let's count this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, you basically could go either way. So, alright, 7 south. Wish you could kind of move these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 would be here. Which I wonder if this is exactly what this is. But we'll start there. Then 6 east. Which if this is south, it would have to be north, east, west. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. And then 4 south. And then 5 east. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And then 10 north. 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. 5 more east. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which I'm hoping I'm not one off at any point, otherwise I'm just gonna randomly start clicking. This doesn't look like, looks like there might be something just here. And this treasure map is interesting because it does potentially get you to look at this map where you might immediately dismiss it otherwise. Then 5, well, 6 south. What? I guess 6 would be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we could be anywhere slightly off. And I don't know if that would have helped us any. Like, just click all around here as if there's something to push in, possibly. The problem with this as a Lego set is you could easily just assume that you're supposed to peel off one of these 1x1 studs. And alright, back this way. So we assumed that south was that way, and we started here. We may very well need multiple maps to overlay if this is 7 south, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there. And then if that is south, then this would be east, and it would just go off the edge of the table. So I'm assuming I just miscounted somewhere. But even if I miscounted, as long as I didn't miscount somewhere too close or too specific, something here should react in this general area. And I am not seeing anything reacting. Alright. We have green, we have red, we have mountains. Just kind of gonna click everywhere and fiddle with it. And the problem here is you just don't know how far along you are solving this puzzle. In particular this hard mode, which medium may have been the thing that added this extra part, this extra map in the first place. I suppose if you started with the boat for some reason, or if you started right here for some reason, that might have changed your map location slightly, but I don't think it would have changed it that much. Yeah, it just kind of feels like there's nothing there. So back to the box. Again, we want to check the borders, see if there's anything we can drag around, shift, push. It definitely does feel like it is coming from more the perspective of getting things out of the way instead of getting things in the way. Maybe I'm supposed to use it this way. Nope. Perhaps this is supposed to indicate where north is, but even if that is supposed to indicate where north is, I'm still not sure what the whole point of that is. I don't want to immediately undo things. Yeah. And there is, I suppose, probably a point where the lid actually opens, but I also wouldn't be super surprised if it kind of doesn't. You can see there's seemingly full renderings happening here, which is kind of different from what you actually get in the TT Lego games as far as how they kind of fake it. But because of that full rendering, it is also fairly obvious that if the lid opens, there's not going to be a lot happening there. Let's see. I'm fairly certain this piece is needed as like a pushing piece. It certainly would feel like it should be used as a pushing piece. But to like knock other bricks out. But A, I can't get this part open. B, I can't get under here. There are some limited camera angles. Seems like it really wants you to engage with. And yeah, while we see this skeleton, don't really see a way to free him. Now the danger, certainly with any puzzle, is redundancy. There's a puzzle I did when I was a kid called the Jacob's Ladder puzzle that is a recursive puzzle, and because it's a recursive puzzle, you just end up doing the same thing over and over and over again, to the point of insanity, really, frustrating repetition. Yeah, I suppose we'll just try and get everything back to the way it was. Let's just see if we can reset things. Yeah, it really does not look like there's a lot. It does kind of feel like this puzzle, though, may have some limitations to it that make it kind of locked. It like you to reset the puzzle may not be something as easy as it seems, or may just be straight up impossible. And yeah, it does definitely feel like there's just straight up an element here I haven't figured or found yet. Something on the lid or something. Yeah, let's see if we can find the lid part of this. So I think that's... But you're not even really zooming in on the lids. So if there was something on the lid... Yeah, I think I really am just resetting things. Interesting. There is this like corner angle. Which, why would the camera get into this corner angle? And that seems like that's the only piece that moves in a couple different directions. And this piece seems like it can't be reset. When this is pulled out, then this can't be reset. And there's no zooming in on these hinges, as if they were something. It probably would be slightly helpful if there was more sound effects happening when you're making mistakes, or when you interacted with something but you interacted with it in a unexpected or wrong way. And see, if the map was supposed to be some kind of like color puzzle or something, then is there like one red piece? You're supposed to put this halfway through, and you Well, I'll tell you what. I've been experimenting with pausing recordings, and it's been an hour so far. So I think, well, I still want to play with this. I think it's probably a good time to call a break on this. There's clearly something that I'm going to have to either look up, which I'm getting close to that, but I'm not quite there, or I'm going to just have to click on everything, because yeah, it seems like we've been through this box several times, and even things you can click on at this point are kind of few and far between. Yeah. Like, I don't think you can click on a single box at the moment. So either I have completely missed something, or yeah, you can click on that one, and then that resets that one. would pretty much have to make a click sound. And I just don't think this is ever going to push that out. When it resets that one, also reset that one. So maybe if there was a trick where you pushed only one inward and not the other, it would leave you enough room to push something else out. But that doesn't seem like that really is the case. So there's like several gimmicks. And I think at this point I probably would just look for assistance. Because there's clearly entire tricks here that I don't understand. You have this whole map, but seemingly on the treasure map, you can't do anything unless you're supposed to be on the exact back side of the map, which that would be kind of a nightmare. Let's see. If you were to start here and then try and click. See, that just turned me totally around. Like the stripes here probably mean something, but they may very well not mean much. It may just have been I decided to use different colored pieces to make it look a little different. And this compass piece has the crosshatch T connection, so we would need to find a place where that crosshatch T connection made sense. You could of course disassemble this and just take the whole thing out, but I imagine that's not the goal. And looking all over this map, yeah, I suspect this may be a color puzzle. Like, or maybe some small piece comes out from the edge of this mountain. But that's pretty much all it could be. If there was a color-coded puzzle, it pretty much would have to be based on the map, and it would have to be based on this. Something in this treasure chest to start with. See, and it does seem like they've even given you a dedicated button. So if you're zoomed in here, and then you click here, and then you click here, it goes back to the overall thing. Interesting. That made a sound. But didn't do anything else. There are 5 remaining achievements, one of which was firing the cannon, so I suspect that means I have accomplished 1/5 of this puzzle, but I am just like totally confused as to what the next step would be. Perhaps I should have chosen to watch someone solve this first. Yeah, my only thought process really is that we messed up by taking the cannon out, and now I can't just open the area that needs to be opened to put the cannon back in. Because it really does feel like the cannon should, in some way, do something more. And that it shouldn't just be this floating thing. I can rotate it this way and then it stops. I can rotate it this way, then it does like a full 360. But what would pull it off or disconnect it or drag it in any other way? What's funny is that this piece would be the piece that it would be rotating on, and yet it clearly is not really being animated to rotate on that pivot piece. So that seems not programmed right, or not in the right location. Just any part near the center of it fires. Which creates kind of a large hotspot. Okay. Save game, sure, why not? I'm gonna go ahead and look up a hint. And in this recording here, since it's been an hour, I thought we might be able to do this in one episode as a puzzle box, but obviously I'm not as smart as some of the other puzzlers, and also a lot of the other puzzlers edit out the parts where they get stuck. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.